It's into center field. Owens is going back. The track at the rookie out of the 8th spot goes deep to center field. And then play the way they played in St. Pete and the way they're playing so far today. It's remarkable. It is remarkable and resilient because that's the only words you can come up with.
Nice foul.
There goes Henderson. Throws out Gunnar Henderson. The running game.
Just a fraction, didn't get that perfect jump. He tries the swim move to get outside the tag. Set it up. Catcher can throw.
This is it's a fly ball to the left field corner. He's going to cook it again at Camden Yards. It's a great extension. Another guy that can get locked in against right-handers is Gunnar Henderson.
It was game 1 of the ALDS as the number 1 seed Baltimore Orioles, after nearly a week off, welcomed in the red-hot Texas Rangers. This is the best-of-5 series. Game 1 goes to the Texas Rangers by a score of 3-2. It's the Baltimore Orioles post-game show. Here on the Flex Zone Podcast YouTube channel, you guys know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. I'm going to break it all down for you. Unfortunately, not a happy recap, but the Orioles will live to fight another day tomorrow. We'll talk about it now here on the Flex Zone Podcast. What's going on, Birdland? What's going on, Flex Zone family? God's favorite host here, back again. You guys know the vibes. You guys know the drill. It is October baseball. Orioles, Rangers. Game 1 of the ALDS today went to the Texas Rangers by a score of 3-2, in which was a nail-biting affair, which is October baseball. If you guys can, hit the subscribe button. If you're new, hit the like button, hit the bell. Vote on the poll. We do this for all Orioles postseason games throughout the season. We give you tons of content, tons of shorts, post-game shows, and videos, and so much more. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the game. How you feeling? A tough, nail-biting, heartbreaking loss. Where do I start? It's hard to win games when you only score 2 runs, ladies and gentlemen. The Orioles were 0 for 4 in running with runners in scoring position. This team was the best all year in hitting with runners in scoring position, and they were 0 for 4 today. While they did not have a lot of access or opportunities to have runners score, only 4 runners in scoring position all day, You got to hit the ball when guys are on base to score runs. That's how the Orioles accumulated over 100 wins. And tonight, 0 for 4. You score only 2 runs. It's tough because no matter how good you pitch, no matter how many strikeouts, how many missed bats, if you can't score, you cannot win in any sport. And 2 runs leaves such a slim margin for error that it makes your win percentage that much less, and it makes it tough for you. Got to give credit to the Rangers pitching staff. In 2 games against Tampa in the wild card round, which they swept, and the game today, they've only given up 3 runs. 4 runs in 3 games. 4 runs in 3 games. This team, the Texas Rangers starting rotation, was 18th in the league in earned run average. They've bought their A game so far this postseason. Like I said, only giving up 4 runs in 3 games. The Orioles pitching did great today. They struck out 16 batters. But offensively, over the last 12 games, and this stat was something that I was a little weary of as they kind of were heading into the postseason. As far as scoring runs, the last 12 games, the Orioles are only averaging 2.8 runs per game. So not even a full 3 runs a game in the last 12. So the last 2 weeks plus, and that includes today's game, ladies and gentlemen, game 1 of the ALDS, 2.8 runs. And I do agree, they did blow a huge opportunity today because I saw a stat that game 1 winners in the best of 5 in the Major League Baseball postseason win the series 71% of the time. So 7 out of 10 teams that win game 1 in the best of 5 in the Major League Baseball postseason win the series. And not only do you lose game 1, you lose home field advantage. You have a game tomorrow at the Camden Yards, but you have to go at minimum win tomorrow at home and win at least 1 in Texas just to get back to a game 5 here at Baltimore next week. So while the Orioles were one of the best teams on the road this season, won over 50 games, their ballpark is going to be just as ruckus, just as loud, just as lit as Camden Yards was today. The last time they were in a postseason was what? 2016, just like the Orioles. So you know Arlington, all the oil boys and boosters, people with oil money and a lot of wealthy Republicans down in Texas are going to be at Arlington at their new beautiful stadium rooting on the Texas Rangers. It's going to be a raucous crowd. It's going to be tough. I would have rather seen the Orioles win today and win today instead of having to go to a must win tomorrow. And easy, let me know if you can hear me now. My mic was a little low as I was playing the highlights a little earlier. So I appreciate you for being here, brother. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Make sure you guys sound off in the comments, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It pissed me off because this was an opportunity for the Orioles to win. Like I said, going 0 for 4 runs in scoring position. You strike out 16. And we look at the game summary. Kyle Bradish, 4 2/3, but he only gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. Santander was really the bright spot offensively, 2 for 3 with a home run, scored 2 runs. But Andrew Haney of the Rangers, 3 2/3, 2 hits, only gave up 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But Josh Young, the rookie, another home run this postseason. He had a solo home run in the 6th off Jacob Webb. Really the only blemish for the Orioles bullpen today. And like I said, they struck out 16. So the bullpen did their job. DL Hall, Ciano Perez, they did what they were supposed to do. And even after Webb gave up the home run, he pretty much settled back into his role. So I really can't put this on the bullpen. I can't put this on Kyle Bradish. If you're only giving up 3 runs, appreciate you, Roger. Thank you for letting me know. But I did turn up the mic, so guys hopefully can hear me all right. Let me know, though, how I sound. Hopefully I sound clear. If you're only giving up 3 runs, you got to like your chances to win. And as I mentioned, the Orioles have been struggling the last 2 weeks heading into the playoffs, scoring runs. But on the bright side, this is a team that has, in the past, may have had their lows offensively, but they have bounced back. And they've had games where they've exploded for a large amount of runs. So anything is possible. I'm not going to give up on this team. This team does their best work when their backs are against the wall, much like I always say about the Ravens when they are the underdogs. They've been the underdog all season. Nobody thought they would be here. Nobody. As we mentioned, Vegas had them at 76 wins. But the Orioles only had 5 hits. The Rangers only had 8. It was a tough, nail-biting October baseball game. You're going to see a lot of these 1-run, 3-2, 4-3, 2-1 type of games where 1 or 2 pitches going to make the difference. And the Orioles couldn't hit with runners in scoring position today. As we look at the lineup, Austin Hayes led off 0 for 3 with the walk. Adley Rutschman 0 for 3 with the walk. Santander, as I mentioned, 2 for 3 with the home run, the solo shot, a single, a walk, and 2 runs. Mountcastle 1 for 4 with the big RBI double. Gunnar Henderson 1 for 4 with a single. And I got to stop there with Henderson. We saw the play in the ninth. Hicks was at bat. Henderson runs. It's thrown out by Jonah Heim, who's fantastic at throwing guys out. And we had, from Brandon Hyde, he said it was a miscommunication. So we don't know if it was supposed to be a hit and run. If it was, Hicks didn't even swing at the ball, which you usually do in a hit and run, even though if it's a ball. Henderson was thrown out by a mile. Looked like he did not get the greatest of jumps. Tried to do the swim move, couldn't get it. He was thrown out. In that situation, I even said, hey, why not bunt him over? I know Hicks, you don't want to take the bat out of his hands. He's not known for his bunting ability. But you need to get one. You had no outs. Hicks then eventually struck out. So hindsight is 20/20, but I may have even tried to manufacture that run, maybe hit the ball to where they're not, but maybe bunt. Maybe bunting would have been an option for them. I don't know. And the thing about it is, now looking at it, they're going to throw a lot of lefties at Gunnar Henderson. He struggles against left-handed pitchers. He's going to have to learn how to hit against them. He had a hit today. And I won't put that on Hyde. I won't put that on Henderson. I won't put it on Hicks. It just seems like it was what it was, a miscommunication at the most inopportune of times, because everything in the postseason is ratcheted up. Just like I turned my mic up, all of your mistakes, all of your mishaps, all of your miscues are amplified to the nth degree. So when you make an error, when you miscommunicate with your manager, when you don't understand a sign from your base coach, when you miss on a pitch that you could hit, when you walk a guy, when you miss a play out in the field, it's one of those things that is only elevated and only maximized because it's the postseason and every play matters. Aaron Hicks was 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Jordan Westberg 0 for 1. Mullins 0 for 3. Mullins has been struggling as of late. Would love to see him pick it up in this series, maybe even as early as tomorrow, to get something going, because now he's hitting 8th. And Urias was 1 for 2. I know Frazier did eventually come into the game as well. But the thing about it is now the Rangers still game 1. They can throw their best 2 pitchers, Jordan Montgomery, who was fantastic in game 1 of the wild card, and Nathan Eovaldi, who was an all-star this season. In the pitching matchup tomorrow, we will get Jordan Montgomery, who was 10-11 this season, 3.2 ERA, 188 innings pitched, 48 walks to 166 Ks, but opponents only hitting 247 off of him. He is tough to hit against. He'll go up against Grayson Rodriguez, who has been fantastic this season, especially since coming back up from AAA. He's 7-4, 4.35 ERA, 122 innings pitched, 42 walks, 129 strikeouts, and people are hitting 259 off of him as well. Question is now, what do you do with Grayson? How short is the hook? We saw the bullpen fantastic today. Does Grayson have a quick hook like Bradish really did? Bradish went 4 2/3. You got to think the leash on Grayson may be even less than that. It may only be 4 innings, 4 1/3. It would be nice if Grayson could give us 6, 7 strong innings like he did a few weeks back against Tampa Bay when we really needed him to on that Saturday night. Went 8 innings and was masterful. One of the best pitching performances of the season for the Orioles. It's going to be important. But if he and the rest of the pitchers can keep them at bay, keep them to 2 to 3 runs, this is a potent offense. Is the Rangers most hits, most home runs in the American League, extra base hits, all that jazz. Seager, Simeon, Garcia, Young, as I mentioned, Heim. They can score in bunches. So to only give up 3 runs is a win for the pitching staff. So the pitching staff needs to come with that same stuff they had. I give them a B today. They did solid. They did their job. You only give up 3 runs. You had 16 strikeouts. You missed a lot of bats. I'm not mad at it. The Orioles, though, you're going to have to play better. You're going to need more than 5 hits. You're going to need more than to go 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. You're going to need to get some guys on base, draw some walks, draw some more walks. They hit into 2 crucial double plays, I got to mention. The one against Chapman was huge. It looked like the Orioles were keen to tie this game up. Hit into a major double play against Chapman. Like I mentioned, they hit into 2 double plays that were tough for them this season in this game, and it kind of did them in. I know I don't want everyone to panic. I'm still holding on hope. I'm not too upset, but I mentioned that 71% and them still having to go to Texas to win at least one if they win tomorrow just to get it back to game 5. It's best of 5, first to 3. What do you do in game 3 potentially with your starting rotation? You will get a day off between tomorrow and game 3. So that is good to know. But do you go to John Means? Do you go to Kyle Gibson? I guess we'll find out probably on Monday because they won't tip their hand too much. Ryan O'Hearn has been struggling. We didn't see him do anything today. It's a question of what is this team going to do? We know they have substitutions. We know they have a lineup that can be used in a variety of ways. A lot of guys that can hit, but some guys just aren't getting it done right now. As I mentioned, Mullins is struggling. O'Hearn is struggling. They're going to need to dig deep tonight. I want to give a shout out to the fans, everyone who was at the game, everybody who watched the game. It was electric. It was a great atmosphere. Adam Jones throughout the first pitch. Governor Westmore was there. The fans, you did your part. You were out there early and often. You were loud. We heard you through the TV screen. We seen you at the game. And it's going to be like that tomorrow. I think it's going to be electric. It's going to be a nice day. I don't think the moment was too big for the Orioles. I don't think they were rusty. They didn't come out flat. They came out with energy. They came out with their best, playing their best, in my opinion. They didn't have any crucial errors like we saw with Tampa. They didn't have any miscues really outside of the last throw when Gunnar got thrown out, which like I said, I probably wouldn't have sent him there. I would have probably tried to move him over with a bunt. It just sucks. Everything is amplified in the postseason, and one play here, one play there can be the difference between winning or losing. Now for the Orioles, it's basically a 2-game season. Tomorrow and Tuesday in Arlington. They have to win at least one of these next 2 games to be able to keep their season alive. You don't want to get swept. You don't want this Texas team to continue their momentum. As I mentioned, they've scored runs. Mind you, only 3 today, but their pitching really, really is carrying them. And I mentioned the Orioles have to go against their 2 best pitchers the next 2 games. So that's not going to be an easy task. Only giving up 4 runs in 3 games. That is fantastic for them. And the Orioles today just couldn't get that timely hit. Couldn't produce that Oriole magic that we love. This team had the most come from behind victories in the major leagues this season. Weren't able to get it today. Austin Hayes made a great catch in left field. Santander showing why he's one of the best switch hitters in baseball. But who else is going to? Mountcastle had a big double. Question is, who in this offense, or is it going to be a collective, steps up and really helps this team elevate themselves? First of all, we need to get more than 4 guys in scoring position. And we need to get more than 1 or 2 of those guys in. You're going to need 4 or 5 runs to beat Texas. And like I said, going against Montgomery and going against Eovaldi will be no easy task. It's tough. This is a heartbreaking loss. I thought the Orioles would win today. At worst, split in Baltimore, which they still can do. I'm not jumping off the ledge yet. I still think the Orioles in 5. I picked this to go 5 games for this very reason, because I thought Texas had the momentum and could win one here and we could win one there. One of the best road teams in the American League. And I thought it would come down to that crucial game 5 on next Friday. And I still think it will. And I think the Orioles will have to score at least 5 runs tomorrow. That is the key. Speaking of keys to game 2, let's get into game 2. They got to score 5 runs. I like to see them score 5 runs. I like to keep Texas at 3 runs or less. I like to see them have more than 4 guys with runners in scoring position. And I like to see Grayson go 5 or more innings, not have to expound or expend the bullpen too much. Henderson batted. I can tell you where Henderson batted in the lineup. 1 second. 410 easy. I just had it up. He batted 5th. So it was Austin Hayes, Rutschman, Santander, Mountcastle, Henderson, Hicks, Westberg, Mullins, Urias. So that was the lineup to start the game. Obviously, we know Frazier came in. Mateo even came in as a defensive replacement. So I think Urias did start, and I saw the lineup. I figured he started because he's their best defensive third baseman outside of Gunnar. Gunnar at shortstop. This was probably their best defensive lineup. And I'm glad that actually Westberg did get the start over Frazier. But I'm glad to see Frazier come in for Urias because I think that's a good platoon situation there. So Henderson was batting 5th. Does he move up in the lineup tomorrow? Do we see Ryan O'Hearn in the lineup? Do we see Mateo in the lineup? These are questions that will be answered tomorrow, but these are things to think about because they're going up against a lefty in Jordan Montgomery. I'm hoping that since he played or pitched so well against Tampa, maybe he has a letdown game. And for all the weaknesses of the Rangers bullpen that has been talked about this season and coming into this series, they were fantastic. Chapman, their closer, did fantastic. And Texas is a streaky team. They have multiple 6 or more games they won in a row. So they'll win 6, lose 3, win 8, lose 5, win 10, lose 5 or 6, win 8, lose 7. They're a very streaky team and almost missed the playoffs due to that streakiness, but they were frustrated they had to play a wild card round, took care of business against Tampa, and now they took care of business in game 1 against the Orioles. I mean, it's tough. That the Gunnar Henderson play was kind of the nail in the coffin to me. Hated seeing that the Orioles and Texas Rangers don't steal much. So these are 2 of the lesser running teams in this new advanced game of baseball where we see it a lot easier to steal bases. Look at Ronald Acuna Jr. Numbers are up. These teams don't run much, but these are very 2 easily matched teams, very evenly matched in my opinion. Both of these teams lost over 100 games 2 years ago. Neither has been in the playoffs since 2016. It's going to be. I said 5. I said it's going 5 games. I still think it's going 5 games. I think the Orioles have to win tomorrow. They can't go down 0-2 going back to Texas. We're going to get Rodriguez tomorrow. I'm going to put faith in the young guy. I think we'll see why he is the number 1 pitching prospect in all of baseball. Had a fantastic second half. Like I said, keys that I'm looking forward to. Orioles score 5 or more runs. Keep Texas to 3 or fewer runs. Grayson, 5 or more innings. And I think get at least 6 to 8 guys in running and scoring position and get at least 2 to 3 of them in. Like I said, get 5 runs, you keep them to 3. Grayson can go 5. They can get 5 or 6 guys in scoring position and get those guys in at a 40% clip. I think they'll be sitting pretty tomorrow. Be intriguing to see if Grayson goes or doesn't go a certain amount of innings, who would come in. Seeing as those we had guys pitch today. But I do think it's a situation where Hyde is going to do what he has to do in this situation to get everybody in. You're really playing one game at a time. You got to do everything in your power to win this game tomorrow, I think. Because you don't want to go down 0-2. You don't want to be a situation going to Texas where you have to win 2 games in which will be a crowd that is going to be like yours. Yeah, the lefty pitching is what keeps Henderson down in the lineup, but he's going to have to hit it easy. He's going to have to learn to hit it because if he doesn't, it's going to be tough because the guys, other managers, Bruce Bochy won the World Series with the Giants three times. Very experienced, very good manager. Veteran manager. He's not going to let your best players beat you. And Gunnar Henderson is the best Oriole right now. He won the Orioles MVP. He's not going to let Gunnar beat him. So with that being said, he's going to have to hit left-handed pitching. He did get a single today. It's going to be very, very important. Danny Dunning gets the win today. Bradish takes the loss. Leclerc gets the save. He was good. Chapman was good, as I mentioned. As far as the Orioles bullpen, we had Bradish, Coulomb, 2/3 of an inning. He was good. Jacob Webb gave up the home run. Hall, 1 2/3, 3 strikeouts. He was fantastic. Tyler Wells with 2 Ks. He was good. And Perez with 2 Ks as well in 2/3 of an inning. And guys like Hall, guys like Wells, guys like Perez, guys like Webb, guys like Coulomb, those are going to be key. We have no Felix Bautista. But knowing guys like Hall and Wells didn't have to do too much. I mean, what did it? Hall threw 28 pitches. Wells threw 10, Perez threw 13, Webb threw 12, Coulomb threw 9. You didn't have to use your near Cano today. Yeah, Raj, we need five runs or more, not just for the pizza, but for them to win this damn game because Texas could explode tomorrow for 5 or 6 runs. That's the type of lineup they have. So you're going to have to be able to score with them. You can't be going into these games. It's tough to win when you score 2, 3 runs. You got to be able to put up 4, 5, 6 runs. And it's not easy. It's the postseason. Everything is magnified. You get the best pitching, the best hitting. But they didn't throw a lot of pitches. You didn't have to use Cano today. That's a plus. So if you do have a lead tomorrow, Cano can come in fresh after more than a week off. And we'll see what the O's can do. They are very good. They have not been swept all season. Hasn't been swept since Adley Rutschman or Gunnar Henderson has been up here. They understand the moment. I don't think they played scared. I don't think they played tight. Like I said, I think they played fluid. I think they played not tight. I think they were sharp as you can be. Just didn't hit with runners on scoring position. That's the difference between winning and losing in this game. You get 1 or 2 of those guys in, it's a different story. Yeah, it's tough. I know it didn't support 5 runs, but they had 4 runners in scoring position. You get 2 of those 4 in, that's 4 runs right there, right? You're damn near at 5. And the weather was a little trash to start. It was a rain delay, but it turned out to be nice. It turned out to be nice, a nice day for baseball. I'm not making no excuses, but the pitching was good. The pitching of the Rangers, as I mentioned, has been a difference in them being dominant so far this postseason. Haven't lost yet. They improved to 3-0. Orioles do fall to 0-1 so far. Game 2 is tomorrow, as I mentioned. Best of 5, first to 3 tomorrow at 4:07. Tomorrow we will be live for the Orioles post-game show for Game 2. Win or lose, which I'm hoping is a win. We do have a busy day on the channel. If you guys don't know, we do Ravens coverage as well. Ravens play the Steelers tomorrow. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the bell. Let me know what you're looking forward to seeing in that game. We'll do a post game immediately after that game, leading into the Orioles and Rangers game. And I'm intrigued to see how the Ravens respond tomorrow. Ravens preview will be up on the channel tonight, so look out for that. But we'll be live after every Ravens and Orioles game. Every Orioles post game will be here, breaking it all down here on the channel. I think that's pretty much all I got. I mean, it's a tough loss for the Orioles. It's a tough situation to be in going down 0-1, especially. Yeah, Raj, I think it'll be more of a higher scoring game. I could agree with that. I think we'll get both teams around 4 or 5 runs minimum, especially if it's no rain. Might see more home runs. We only saw 2 home runs today. I just hope the Orioles can minimize the damage, as I mentioned in the keys to this series. Keep the ball in the ballpark. You gave up 1 home run today. It was a solo shot. Keep it at a solo variety. Hopefully some bats wake up at the bottom of the lineup. Mullins, guys like that. It'll be very, very imperative that they show up. Got to get it done. Can't lose tomorrow because then you go to Texas having to win not 1, but 2 games against, which will be a raucous Texas crowd at that new ballpark. But the Orioles did win 2 out of 3 there earlier this year. And ironically, Texas won 2 out of 3 here. So that's baseball for you. But sound off. Make sure you guys vote on the poll. Let me know who wins this series and in how many games. Do the Orioles get swept? They haven't been swept all year. Do the Orioles come back and win it in 4 games? Do they win 3 in a row? Do they win in 5? Win 4 out of the next 4? 3 out of the next 4? Do the Rangers get it done in 4 games at home? Or do they win it in 5? It's a lot of ways this series can go. I think this is probably one of the more evenly matched series of the divisional round. I think the teams have a lot of similarities, but also are teams that are on the come up. And I think it's just going to be one of those series that every pitch, every play matters. You can't really take eyes off the TV because these teams are evenly matched. Raj, I hope you're right, man. Orioles in 4. I said Orioles in 5, but I'll take Orioles in 4. That'll help my blood pressure. Because like what we see with all the Baltimore teams, if it ain't tight, it ain't right. But Raj, 410, easy. Everybody else in the chat, Ninja Boy, Musical Entourage. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, they don't come out. They don't got a choice tomorrow. They got to play with a sense of urgency. They need to start fast. They didn't really start fast today. Bottom of the lineup does have to step up. And we can't, like you said, we can't depend on 1 or 2 people. Mullins, let's get you a big game. O'Hearn, maybe. If Mateo plays. Rutschman, I'd love to see Rutschman do something big. Because we know they're probably not going to let Santander beat him after he did what he did today. And they're probably not going to let Henderson, as we saw what they did today as well. Does Hicks play tomorrow? Maybe. Does Hicks come out the lineup? It's a lot of ways it could go. I'm intrigued to see what the lineup's going to be tomorrow. We know Grayson's pitching, Jordan Montgomery's pitching for them, so so something tells me whatever pitcher pitches better, their team is going to have a legit chance to win. Grayson is the number 1 pitching prospect. We're going to find out how good he is. His first postseason start. He's been fantastic since coming up from AAA. And he's going to prove what the young guys made of. It's one thing to do it in the regular season, but the postseason is a different beast, different animal. And I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. He throws 95. He's going to be amped. The crowd's going to be alive. Bring that energy again to Camden Yards, everybody. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating a Ravens win, 3-0 in the division, moving to 4-1, and an Orioles victory as well. Rod said he's going to be at Wild Wings tomorrow, so he'll be checking in with me after the Ravens game. We'll be doing a post-game show tomorrow. And I'll be probably rolling solo, rolling solo for the post-game for the Orioles. The first pitch is at 4:07 tomorrow. Game 3 is 8 o'clock on Tuesday, so I'll be here after both of those games. It's Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Appreciate you guys being here. Happy Saturday to you guys. It is October 7th. We'll be live tonight also if you like wrestling. We'll be live for WWE Fastlane. Should be a newsworthy show. The card is okay, but we could see the debut of Jade Cargill, or at least her introduction to the WWE Universe. And there are rumors that we could see the return of Randy Orton also imminently. And even the last 24 hours, 48 hours, it's looking like CM Punk is headed back to WWE, debuting as soon as Survivor Series in his hometown of Chicago. But I'm signing off. Orioles lose 3-2. We'll go at it again tomorrow. Game 2 of the ALDS will be here afterwards on the post show. Good time in Baltimore sports. Maryland football tried to do what they could today, but they just fell short on Ohio State. And the Orioles fell short here today in Game 1. Remember, Game 1 winners win the series 71% of the time in the ALDS in the Major League Baseball playoffs. So the Orioles are going to have to defy the odds, defy the analytics, and do what they do best, come back and win, and hopefully have some Oriole magic yet again in a season that has been full of it. Thank you guys for watching. Happy Saturday. Thank you for all the support. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. O's fall 3-2. Back at it again tomorrow for Game 2 of the ALDS. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Go O's. Hang tight. Don't give up, guys. The Orioles are great playing from behind. They're great when the odds are against them. We just have to ride with this team and have faith in them. They're young. There may be some growing pains along the way, but they're going to figure it out. And I think Brandon Hyde is going to do a much better job in Game 2, making adjustments from Game 1. So we'll see how it plays out. Let me know what you want to see in Game 2 and move forward in the series. And let us know how you feel about the Ravens, the Orioles, Maryland football, or if you're watching Fastlane tonight as well. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Peace and love. Go O's. We'll see you tomorrow for the Orioles postgame show and the Ravens Steelers postgame show here on the channel.